welcome to 74 Escape Gallery and Store. Meet the Designers series. I'm Aytül Fıratoğlu, and I will be talking with some of the loveliest designers of Turkey, included store this summer. And we'll talk about their passions about travel and their how they get inspired in their designs with all these travels all around the world. As we are living in very interesting times, we need solidarity more and more. And 74 Escape created an amazing journey into our culture, and they celebrate Turkey's artists and designers in an amazing way in their store in Bodrum. So let's start and let's meet the designers. Hi, I'm Aytül from Istanbul. Today I'm with Serra, one of the most passionate women that I know in her business, and also she's so passionate for travel. Today we are together with for Istanbul 74 Escape. 74 Escape for you. Now I am in their amazing store in Bodrum, which 74 Escape recently opened in Hotel Maçakızı. And at the background you see the amazing, lovely Misela bags. I hope you're seeing. Maybe.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
What a lovely
introduction. Yeah, it's so lovely to see you. Miss you so much.
Exactly. I feel so far away from all the people that I love and adore. So it was a nice event for us to get together, even on Zoom again.
At least a long time no see, but it's so lovely to see your smiling face and your eyes.
Thank you.
So I'm so happy to be here with you, because your brand, since the beginning, it inspired me a lot, and I'm so proud of you, what you're doing with Misela. It will be great if you can tell us a little bit about your story for those who don't know Misela. How did you create this amazing brand?
Oh, thank you so much. It's like coming from you, especially. This means a lot because as the other side of the spectrum, I love what you do too. So Misela actually was born. Misela is a handbag brand, but it was born in New York 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago. And my aim was to create these. I'm a textile grad. I studied colors, patterns, textures. And when I graduated, I didn't know that I wanted to create a handbag brand, to be honest. When I started working as in a textile, like in an apparel company, doing like apparel, I realized that I didn't like clothing at all, and I wanted to do something more timeless, more like refined, and more direct in a way. Because I'm not a person who gets lost between decisions. I want to be really like I want to do something timeless that can accompany me through my journey in life. And that happened to be handbags. And when I decided of doing handbags, it was such an interesting moment, because I'm from Istanbul. Obviously, the bags were going to be produced in Istanbul, because I think that was part of the identity that I was going forward. I just wanted to create something from local, and at that time we didn't have any handbag brands out there coming from Istanbul. It was non-existent. And when I told my mom, and I was living in New York, I want to create a handbag brand based in Istanbul, like made in Istanbul, and she's like, this is not a good idea. Like, she's like, who would buy your bags? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, listen, like, handbags, it has to be like, for people to really enjoy your bags or buy your bags, it has to be a brand name. And Istanbul, and like, it's such a small society, and like creating like a luxury handbag brand is not a good idea. And I was like, no, I have this thing in me. I'm gonna create something I know. And I started my path, and obviously it took a long while to get to where I am, but I always had that passion and driving, like that passion, the drive to like create something that belonged to Istanbul. So I was living far away from that time, and then Istanbul was for me like a beautiful escape. Like in my mind, I was like dreaming of all Istanbul, all our like cultural heritage and everything. So my journey actually started from backwards. So I was really dreaming of Istanbul, and then I moved back to Istanbul eventually. But then the idea was to create something that was inspired from Istanbul, basically. And then so the collections, like initially was like more like a small collection. Eventually I added like the travel collection, which is like one of our like biggest like main collections in Misela. So travel was always like a part of our identity, and now that we're in 74 escapes, it's just like a great combination for us.
Yeah, it's amazing. I would ask you your inspiration, but you explained it very well that you're taking all your inspiration from Istanbul. But I know that Anatolia, our cultural heritage, that because we are living in that land which has the longest history in human civilization.
Exactly.
Amazing how many civilizations have passed away from this land, and now we are just I think we are here for a very short period of time. There were many civilizations, and there will be many more after us.
Exactly.
So I know that your inspiration from this land is not just Istanbul. I think there's a lot.
Exactly. So it's such a good point. Like you could have explained it better than me. To belong somewhere, it feels very strange. I think it's one of my like in my works as an artist, designer, I always come back to the origins of this place and all that was here before. So for me, all the inspiration comes from these soils in a way, and it's just like in my identity too. Like whatever I create, it feels like as if it needs to belong here in a way. So it kind of determines my inspiration and my world. I feel, but it's also like it's obviously it always sets like a ground, but I'm also drawn to it. Like when I see like an old brass or copper, like an antique, like pottery, like not pottery, but you know those like metal, you know, jars.
Kind of stuff. Yeah.
And it's just like I'm drawn to that. I just want to be like I want to buy them. So in my store in Istanbul, there like I have started a small collection of those. Like all these things that are like from these like from this land. It just makes me like so excited. I just feel connected to it. And one of the things that makes me that also goes hand in hand with my brand is because I feel like there can be timeless design in a way. And so I think timeless means for me from generation to generation, not in the sense that it means like it has value for generations to come in a way. So that's why I kind of like not limit myself, but I just find myself comfortable in things that are that passes the test of time, like maybe our cultural wise too, because some things we've just passed. So like in our culture, we have the base, and then everything, we have a strong base, and everything that comes and goes, it doesn't really change us, but it makes us stronger in a way. So I think there's like a nice correlation between our like culture and or my designs. It's just like I feel like they kind of they're there's a nice like refinement in like my world in a way. I kind of like to simplify and take what's important and just go along with it, I guess.
I think what I like in your collections that it's really, I know that it's really so hard to succeed on this topic. You're taking all this heritage from the land that we are living, the soil that we are living, but you're completely changing this perspective in a very modern and contemporary way, which I like, and which I know that it's the hardest part in design.
Yeah.
Your style is really, for me, it's very authentic. I was so impressed with your collection. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Because we have lost our time. Collection that you get inspired from Mardin.
Oh, it was like Mardin was like, now when you told me it was. So it was Mardin. When I went to Mardin, I was like, this is what I like. For me, Anatolia meant Mardin. Like, it's just, I found my, okay, this is where I was dreaming of. I went there and I was like, I was blown away with all this heritage, all this cultural mix of cultures. It's just like this land. It actually made me feel like a bit Jerusalem. I had that feeling. It's just like there's this layers of layers of like culture coming through, and it's just, you feel it, it's there, and it's very like, it's not out on your face, but it's like hidden, you know. It's just like, it was just like for me, one of the most exciting places that I've ever been. And when I went, like, so I went there for the Biennale, which was an amazing like experience. We had so much, like, it was just like the best place to be, and it was such a great occasion to be there. And when I came back and I was like trying to think of a place for our new campaign, and all of a sudden, like, it was around this time, I was like, why don't I do it in Mardin? I think it just makes so much sense, because I wanted to show the world where we're coming from. And I feel like we were coming from that part of the world, which was like, inherited in the DNA of Misela. And it was such a nice, like a place to be, to reflect what I was actually dreaming of. So it was like everything like came together. And at that time, I was planning on opening my store in London. I was like, what better picture to have on your wall than the pictures of Mardin? It just shows you directly where this is coming from. So Mardin was like, to this day, it was such an amazing experience. And when we're like doing like the photo shoot, obviously every photo shoot has its story, but then I was there and I was doing it, everybody was so passionate about doing this, because it felt so culturally right. And it was just, it became like a magic time for me and for my brand, and for all the viewers like yourself who enjoyed it as much as we did. So it was just like a most exciting time that I had. It was just like a dream.
It's amazing. I think if someone really wants to understand Turkey and Turkish culture, Mardin is one of the places that you should
definitely.
The most exceptional cultural cosmopolitan hubs that you can find all around the world, because it's carrying different heritage from different civilizations. Still, people from different religions, different backgrounds are living there with peace. I think what we need in the world is like that, how can we say, spirit from Mardin. I think humanity needs that spirit from Mardin. Exactly. We all need it.
Exactly.
So I know, other than Mardin, what are your favorite destinations, summer destinations in Turkey? Where do you travel in Turkey during summertime?
Well, to be honest, I think we have the best sea in the world.
Yes.
I won't compromise on this. So anywhere in agency, I think both from the Turkey side and from the Greece side, it's just like so exciting, I think. And when I was like preparing for this interview, I was thinking of the first time I went to Alaçatı 15 years ago.
It was
When
dreamy at that time.
oh, I was like, where am I exactly? What is this happening? Like, where is this place? Like, it was such a dream because I love anything that's like old and authentic. So any like hidden gem around the world, it might be, it excites me. But it excites me even more if I find something about my culture, about Turkey that I didn't see. It just makes me like, okay, there was something going on before this. And so it's exactly, it's just like, for me, because there's always a story behind it, and when you see that, you're like, this is amazing. So first time I went to Alaçatı, I was so impressed, and I was like, it was just like that. I felt like I was like, I want to live here. Like, what's going on? Like, it felt so authentic, so original, and so untouched, and so beautiful. It was such a nice like exploration for me. I could never like to this day, I think nothing beats that first excitement that I had in Alaçatı. And obviously Bodrum is always like it's a to go for us because it's like the most like charming. And back in the day when there's like where Maçakız is one of my obviously the favorite spots in Bodrum. But back in the day when there was like the Shipahoy time, like where everything was so like simple and beautiful. I love those things. I don't like extravaganza, but I like simple, direct, and
I have many memories in Shipahoy. It's really reflects my 20s and all that lovely times. It was really so lovely.
Barefoot on the sand and just like enjoying the music. I think nothing was nothing was same after like that era, I think. And obviously Bodrum, I think, is amazing, and it's like a gem. I mean, it's like whenever I take my friends, like foreign friends, they're like obsessed with that area. I think we have like the coast, like the bays and the sea. It's just like it's the best place on earth. I feel so so connected when I'm on these waters. To be honest. For me, summer means Asian coast, so it's like, so I just love to be around those parts. And actually, one of the other places I love is the Junda Island. It's like that place also. Just it's the same, history, and like you see the town is amazing. I'm obsessed with cute towns. For me, like summer has to be with cute towns. So I can just go into those little stores and explore and, have a coffee at their like local like coffee shop and, like have drinks at night at their like, places around in the town. So, I mean, Junda, Bodrum, Alaçatı, Bodrum is like my favorite places in Turkey.
And I know that you're also traveling all around the world, and I would like to know which are your favorite spots in Mediterranean other than Turkey.
Okay, so I love Greek islands too, and it's just like I like the simple, like the life. Nothing like the big Mykonos islands. It's like that's completely another thing. But I like those like simple, like islands in Greece. And I don't want to call it simple, but it's just like I like it so much. It's like obviously Antiparos, Paros. I love to be there. Spetses is also another favorite. And I've been to. Let's see. I've been to many islands, which I can't remember now. But one of my favorite would be obviously Spetses. I think Spetses is such a beautiful island. It's such a cute dream summer spot.
And in Spetses, what you say, there is simplicity, but also at the same time you can find that refinement in Spetses, which I like about that island. All that
exactly.
understated, but at the same time you find very nice food with high quality. People are so lovely. I like it so much.
People are so lovely. I mean, and it's just like they make you happy. You know, it's just like it just adds to your the time there. I also love obviously Simi. When I first went to Simi Island, I was so like the colors, the houses. It was just like for us, obviously, it's
Yes.
the closest island to
I'm sure
Turkey.
like the same. I think your cine experience can be the same with your experience in Alaçatı, because at first time when I saw Simi from the boat, there was Simi, and I was like, oh my God, is it real?
Is it real? Exactly.
It was like that. Is it real? Yes, it was real.
Yeah, it's just like a gem, you know. I also
Yeah.
like Patmos too. I think Patmos is a very cute island too. Um, to be able to explore anything and then everything is just like it's amazing. Last year, you know, near like next to Mykonos, there was this island with the Anthony Gormley exhibition, where there was like fights with like all these like ancient artifacts, and it's just like this place is like it just carries so much culture and so much history. And there's so many other places in Turkey that I want to go and just explore. And I've been like I didn't have the time to, but it's just amazing. Like it just excites me so much. And I mean, it's like a cultural heritage, you know. It's like for the world.
What we will be exploring in Misela next? What will be the new things that we will see in Misela?
Well, we're working on a couple of things. We're working on a collaboration with a travel magazine, actually, Suitcase magazine. So we're gonna launch that in like early September, and it's a fun. It's because now that we're at home, it's all about fun and games. So we're exploring how to be at home with Misela in a way. And other than that, I mean, with Misela, I love because it's like I get excited when I travel with Misela because when you see your products in situ with places that you go like, oh, it's nice because it's your world with you. So I'm always exploring new shapes for my made-to-order collection, and it's just like it's very exciting. What else are we doing? Yeah, I'm reinventing some shapes that really works for me, and at this time I'm kind of eliminating all the things that I don't need, so focusing all the things that I really want. So it was a good time to reflect for myself and for the brand too.
Serracığım, I know that you're so passionate about travel and journeys. I always divide travel and journey. I don't think that they're the same. So many years ago, Louis Vuitton had a campaign called Journeys. Maybe you can remember that Louis Vuitton continued this campaign for a while with many important personalities in the world who had remarks in our lives. So in one of the videos of this campaign, it was saying that does a man create the journey or a journey creates the man? I'm always thinking about this for years in my travels, in my journeys. What do you think? What's your opinion about
that? I think it goes both ways. Sometimes because if you have it in you to create a journey, and even if you do very basic things, you create a journey within that moment. But then if you're not in that mood, and if you may not be in that mood to create anything, then you don't create anything. Like the journey actually is part of you. So I always think, obviously, it's like about initiating things. Like if you're in that spirit, and if you're in that like aura of like exploring and adding something to yourself, or like making most of your time, I think it's one of the things that I like about being in a journey, because either you look at something and you don't look at it. If you look at it and you deeply appreciate what it means to you, you kind of like take it something from that to your own life. And it's all about these things together. But sometimes when the circumstance obviously also sometimes creates demand. But if sometimes there's so many people who are doing like they're looking at the same thing, but they're not getting the same thing. It's like it's always about the man, I think. But then the journey itself is always like obviously it leads the way, but if you're not to follow it, then it doesn't lead anywhere in a way. So it kind of goes both ways. Like it's sometimes the journeys can be so amazing, but if you're not ready to be in that journey, then it might not really add anything to you, but vice versa too. So I always find like the most important thing is like that people should know that they're in a journey, and then they should realize that if they're in a journey, then they can take from that journey in a way with them. So it's all about different personalities, obviously. But for me, like I'm mostly inclined of taking whatever I can take from life. And so it may be a very simple meal, it may be a simple like a smile, it may be something that you see and then you create in yourself, and then you just like take that with you. So it shouldn't like for people like artists and designers and all the people who are creative, obviously these things really help so much, because then you kind of like feed on them in a way. But it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody has to go the same way, because sometimes other people see others, their journey might be different. I think the important thing is to find people who are in the same journey as you are, but because then it makes everything more meaningful and more you feel more connected in a way to your journey and to what you believe in. For example, when you describe my world, when I see my world through your eyes, I feel even more connected to my journey, because then you feel like, okay, I'm doing something, that reach out to people. So it's just like all these things that makes everything more. I love being connected to people, like to what I'm doing, to where I'm living, what I'm seeing, and whatever I can see and whatever I can share with people. I'm so like it makes me feel like I'm alive in a way.
You described it really so nice.
Thank you. I tried. Sometimes it comes,
I love your answer. I really liked it. Serracığım, thank you so much for this great talk, and I really want to thank the 74 Escape for bringing us together and having this chat together. It's really so nice. I think, as you said, 74 Escape did a great job for all of us to unite in this exceptional times. I think together we are stronger.
Exactly. I truly believe that, for sure. Exactly.
See you soon.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your time in Bodrum. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.